you wake up and you find out what you've been gifted with. I was gifted with 5 incisions. So there you go. So it was ordered that the gallbladder be removed. I thought, which is why you need a health advocate. And if you can take someone with you, take someone with you. I was certain that my doctor said I would need 2 days off work. I was certain that he said 2 days. No problem. So finally, I got the pre-authorization. I was able to go get put on their schedule, and it was removed 9 days ago. So I'm before I went in, I did speak for the procedure. I did speak with a naturopath, and the naturopath was talking about things to reduce my symptoms. And so I wasn't happy with that. That was my second opinion. I wanted to find out, was there anything natural that I could take that I could avoid having to go under an invasive procedure. But in speaking with the naturopath, they were saying things like, well, you can use, cod liver oil, and you can drink this, or, some, it's not purified water. I forget what they call it. Um, a certain kind of water, was naming things that would ease my symptoms. And I'm like, I've been apparently easing my symptoms for 2 years. I don't want this to be like people who have tonsillitis and it keeps coming back and coming back, or ear infections and it keeps coming back and coming back. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to eliminate the symptoms, not just make them dormant for a little while. I don't want to keep going through this. So I opted not to try the natural path way, and to go ahead and have the gallbladder removed. So I was put on the schedule after speaking with the naturopath, and decided I was going to do it. My doctor said I would need 2 days off work, and I went to my boss and said, I'm going to need 2 days off work. And she's like, that's all? I'm like, yep. He said, 2 days is all I need. So I was like, great. I get to keep all my vacation time. This is 2 days. It's a piece of cake. So I had surgery on a Thursday, and I thought, I'm going to miss Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be back to work. No problem. I did ask the physician, is this going to require like a lifetime of medication? You know how some people might have a hysterectomy and they have to have estrogen or some kind of drug for a long time, or I'm not sure what other surgeries that you have lifetime medication, but I didn't know. And the doctor said, no, you will remove it. Your body will adapt, and it will develop its own mechanism for taking over what the gallbladder did. You'll be good to go. So great. Sign me up. So I was on the schedule, ready to have my procedure, happy to know I wasn't going to need a lifetime of medications. And I was given my pre-op, and the pre-op was very simple. It was no eating after midnight, and you had to shower the night before with an antibacterial soap, and shower the morning of with an antibacterial soap, just to try to keep the infection down, because they're creating incisions all over your abdomen. So I thought, easy instructions, easy to follow. They require someone bring you, and they require, someone drive you home. No problem. So I wasn't really concerned. You're nervous. You're nervous anytime anybody has full control over you while you're asleep. But I felt like I was in good hands, and the procedure would not be. I was not worried about it. I was looking forward to getting it over with. So once I got to the hospital that morning, it was going to be an in and out surgery. They started an IV, and in the IV, they gave me a very strong antibiotic. They said they like to do that before the surgery, so you have that on board, also to keep any infections at bay. So they put that into your IV, and then the anesthesiologist comes in and talks to you, and you're off to surgery. I asked them how long the surgery would be. They said about an hour, and recovery would be an hour or two, and then you're off home. It all seemed pretty simple. So when I came out of surgery, I remember being in a lot of pain, just because of the position they had me in. And they were able to shift my position when I was able to speak enough to say, this position is hurting me, because at first I couldn't articulate that. But they did get my pain under control, and they sent me on my way. I had no problem. So it was the pain level was okay the first day, and it was okay the second day. They give you a slow acting painkiller before you leave the hospital while you're in surgery. So you're in pain, but you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, this is intense. So it was okay. But you know that you've been through something. So as soon as the procedure was over, of course, I could feel that it hurt to move in any way. It hurt to yawn. It hurt to stretch. Going over bumps hurt. Anything that moved any of the 5 incisions was uncomfortable. But laying, which is all I wanted to do, was okay. So I had these 5 incisions. I had the pain med that they had given me on board, and then they discharged me. And they discharged me and gave my driver a prescription for me to fill on the way home. And I thought, that system is broken. That is something, if I were to able to change something, if I was president, I would change that, and you would leave the hospital with your medications. And the reason why I say that is because, one, they didn't discuss what they were giving me. They gave my driver a prescription while I'm still zoned out, and my driver takes me to the pharmacy. The pharmacy says we have to wait because now we have this piece of paper. It was not called in. That's a mistake, I think. And do you remember the good old days when you used to leave the hospital and the hospital sent you home with your prescription? There was no stop at a pharmacy, wait in line, wait while they fill it. It's so non-customer service. I think it's terrible. You're sitting in a car, you're in discomfort, and you're waiting, one, to get up in line to turn your prescription in, and then you're waiting for them to fill it, and they're like, can you come back in an hour or two? There's X number of people ahead of you. I think that's ridiculous. I really do. And if I could change that, I would. And I'm saying all that to say, my doctor did not discuss what he was giving me and that he was going to give my driver a prescription. In a perfect world, he would have discussed what he was giving me during that appointment. Instead, they just have a list of what you're allergic to. But what he gave me was a narcotic that I can't rest on. It hypes me up instead of relaxing me and taking the pain away so I could sleep. So the only way I could sleep was if I did not take the pain med that he gave me. But now I'm not at his office. I'm not at the hospital. I'm in a drive-through at a pharmacy going, well, this is all bad. This is all bad. So there was a big breakdown there. So my advice would be, if you are going to have a procedure, one, take someone with you. And two, ask about what they're going to send you home with or what they're going to try to send you home with. Because in my case, that was terrible that we had to go and wait at the pharmacy. And our pharmacy closes for a lunch break. So that even added to the monotony. It's not a smooth process, and that should be fixed. So customer service, in my opinion, is dead. So I would suggest, if you're going to have a procedure, try to find out what your doctor is going to give you to kind of prevent any mishap like that. I ended up getting the prescription, but I only took the prescription the first day because it made me where I could not rest. And so I ended up the rest of this recovery on extra strength Tylenol. And I'm saying that to say I was in pain. I was in pain. The extra strength Tylenol is not a narcotic. It did not take away my pain, and I suffered because by Friday, by the time I thought about, well, maybe I should call the doctor and see if he'll give me something else, it was Friday evening, and they're closed Saturday, Sunday, and then we were on to Monday, and I was like, what's the point now? What is the point now? I'm just going to ride this out. So save yourself the trouble of being in pain and ask beforehand if you can. So my go home rules were, the first couple days, you can't get your incision wet, but you really don't want to. You just want to stay in bed, and that's it. It was up to the restroom, back to bed, up to the restroom, back to bed. And every time I'd get back in bed, just lifting your knees up to get in the bed is just, that's all abdomen. And it was uncomfortable. I didn't want to do anything but lay in the bed. So, and those were really easy instructions. It was that and no lifting for 2 weeks. So very easy instructions. But I soon found out That Thursday, I had surgery. Friday, I started being alert enough to read my aftercare paperwork. And as I'm reading my aftercare paperwork, it said, you'll be off work 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I told my boss 2 days. 2 days. That's why you need someone with you. So thank goodness for the telephone. I took a picture of my orders. I sent them to my boss, and she said, I thought 2 days was a little short. Take as long as you need. So instead of 2 weeks, I took 1 week and I went back to work day before yesterday. So I am back at work. But that's just another reason why you need an extra pair of ears and you need an advocate with you. Because I was so focused on getting the procedure and hearing that it wasn't going to be a big deal that I heard 2 days instead of 2 weeks. So take someone with you. An extra pair of ears never hurt. My go home instructions were also that I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted after the first day. There was no diet restrictions. I ended up having a lot of fruit, fresh fruit. You know, it's summer. So watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, strawberries, things like that, and soup and stew that I made prior to the surgery, knowing I was going to be home and need something to eat and not wanting someone to have to cook for me and, you know, prepare meals for me. So I got those things ahead, cut the fruit up. So it was all ready to go. I had also frozen fruit in my freezer, blueberries and strawberries and things like that, that I could take a cup out of the freezer and thaw it out and eat those. So those are just some ideas. If you stay by yourself and you want to make things easy for yourself, that is how I prepared to have things to my comfort level, so no one had to wait on me hand and foot. But I was able to eat. The rule is they want someone to be there with you the first night after you've had anesthesia. So I did have someone there the first night, and it is helpful because you're sort of out of it and you can't remember if you have been given a narcotic, you can't remember when is the next time I'm supposed to take my med because you are in and out of sleep. The them rooting around in your stomach and pulling on your skin, that along with the combination of the anesthesia is very exhausting. You just feel like you have been beat up and all you want to do is sleep. So if someone can say, no, it's only been 2 hours, or oh, it's been 4 hours, you can take a pill at 6 hours, it's good to have someone with you because you lose all track of time. So have someone there with you. I did feel like the first 3 days I just slept them away. I would be up for a half an hour, or by up, I mean awake for a half an hour and then sleep for 3 hours and then awake for a half an hour and sleep for, I was exhausted. So don't plan on running any marathons right after the procedure. Um, After the third day, I was up and about. I was moving around. I was doing little things, but the littlest things tired me out. By the time I showered and got dressed, took care of all your personal hygiene, brush your teeth, wash your face, oh, you're exhausted. I was like, oh God, I did all this and I want to go back to bed. So keep that in mind. Your energy level might be a little low. So on the seventh day, I went back to work, and today is day 9, and I feel pretty good. I feel really good. I still can't lift things. I still have the lift restriction, but my energy is coming back, and I feel like I can do most things. You know, I can stand and do dishes and pick stuff up. I can't do like sweeping and mopping because those are abdomen things that involve your abdomen, and those just don't sound like fun right now. So there's no lifting. You shouldn't be exercising right away. You should do things at your comfort level, and that's what I'm doing. It is fantastic not to have to be still having oatmeal and tea and bananas. I can have bacon if I want to, which is the best thing in the whole world, and not have to worry about being in excruciating pain. So according to my doctor, there are no long-term effects to having the gallbladder removed. Your body will take over and make a way, even though you don't have that gallbladder creating that bile in the same way. Food will continue to digest and process. Your body will adapt. The only lifelong effect I'm going to have is the scars, 5 of them, but I feel good. I can deal with the with the scars. So I want to know if you've had the procedure done, what did you feel? What did you experience? Have you had any long term effects? Or was your procedure pretty much like mine? I want to know, what your thoughts on if you've had it. And if you have, you're kind of on the fence about it, and your doctor has recommended it for you, are there questions I could answer that would help make things a little bit easier for you? I'm finding out as we get older, some of our body parts are just giving out, and we have to do what we have to do to make our lives as bearable as possible. I'm hoping that this, for people who are presented with this, who never thought it was going to be a thing, I'm hoping that, this will be helpful to you, eliminate some questions that you have had. I hope you will like and subscribe to the channel. When I look at the notes on the channel, only 25% of the people who are watching the videos are subscribed. So the other 75% of you, I need you to hit the subscribe button and go ahead and comment, because the comments boost the algorithm so that other people see the video. So please comment, like, subscribe, share. And, if you have questions for me regarding this or something else, go ahead and submit those to me. I answer all questions personally. No one answers those for me. I will be happy to answer your questions. I still recommend the Living Legacy Planner for you and all the people that you know. It's a great gift. I have mine filled out for my family in case anything happens to me, and I think you should too. So I encourage you to look at purchasing the Living Legacy Planner that is available on Amazon right now. And I just want you to know I'm glad you stopped by, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Senior and Living Today. Take care.